Today I'm going to be discussing contractions. What is a contraction? Contractions are where you're adding two words together to form a new word. It does not mean that you're adding two words to form a new meaning. That would be a compound word. Compound words, you add two words that create a new meaning, but a contraction means that you're simply contracting the two words, meaning you're taking two words, you're combining them together simply to make the word smaller. The word contract in English means to decrease in size. So to make a contraction, you're simply adding two words and decreasing its size to when they're formed together. There are several different types of contractions, but today we're simply just going to focus on the contraction is. How do you write a contraction? Contractions are where you have two words, like I've stated before. In this example, we are going to say that we're going to use the word there. There is one of my words, and I'm adding it to the word is. When I contract it, I'm going to delete the I, add an apostrophe, and keep the S. So when the contraction formed with there is, it would be theirs. I didn't delete the S, I simply just deleted the I and added an apostrophe. In other contractions, there could be one or two letter omissions. Here, it's just a one letter omission. So for the word is, with the contraction, you're going to delete the letter I, add an apostrophe, and just keep the S at the end. For example, this would be, there is my car. If I'm going to use that as a contraction, it would say, there's my car. Now, don't be confused because contractions are not used in formal settings. You only want to use contractions in informal writing or in informal social events. They're not to be used in formal writing or formal interviews or anything that's formal. Contractions are not appropriate. You only want to be sure that you are able to read a contraction and know what its meaning is, or write them in informal writing. In English, lots of words are contracted, especially in reading. You could be reading a book and see contractions. Remember, contraction is not the only contraction, but it is one form of contraction that we're going to focus on. So I've shown you how to contract the words there is to theirs. The same rule is going to apply for other words. It just needs to be able to be used with the verb is. So I'm going to read a sentence and I'm going to show you the two words that are going to be used in the contraction. And we're going to discuss how it is formed to make a contraction. Then I'm going to go back to the same sentence and show you the contracted word in the same sentence. The first example I have is, when is your party? When is your party? So for this contraction, you're simply going to use the word when and is. When plus is, remember you're going to delete the I and add an apostrophe. So I'm going to actually take away the plus sign too. So here, where my fingers are, you would just implement an apostrophe and it would form the new word. The new word will look like this, wins. So when you use the contraction in the same sentence, you're not rewording the sentence, but it would say, when's your party? That was one example. I'm going to show you a different word that's using the same verb. How is your mom? The two words that are going to be contracted are how and is. How plus is, again, you're going to delete the I and add an apostrophe. So it would look like this. House. Same sentence, same wording, just adding a contraction would be, how's your mom? Another word that's used with the same verb would be, where is the library? The two words that we're going to contract here are where and is. Where plus is, remember you're deleting the I, adding an apostrophe, where's. So that would look like, Where's the library? Contracted with the letter, or with the word is, I'm sorry. The last example that I have is with the word that's. That is my book. The two words that we're contracting are that and is. Here we're going to do the same thing. We're going to delete the I, and that's where we would put the apostrophe, which would form like this, that's. So after contracting that, it would look like this, that's my book. It's very important to remember where the apostrophe goes. So I also have some examples to show you, and we're going to try to figure out what is wrong in the pictures that are in the words that I have written for you. So remember, in this example, I've showed you their plus is equals theirs. All I had done was taken away the I and added an apostrophe and the S at the end of the word of the first word. This case would be theirs. Is this matching what I wrote here? It's not. I kept the I, but I added the apostrophe, and that's not how it should look. Remember, you're deleting the I, and you're adding the apostrophe yes. So it should look like this. Theirs, apostrophe yes. What about this one? I've taken away the I, and I've added an apostrophe, and I've added an S. Is this correct? No, it's not correct because the apostrophe is in the wrong location. If you add it after the S, it could show possession. In this case, we're not showing possession of the word wise, so it needs to have the apostrophe S. The apostrophe in its location is very important because remember, if you add it to the end, it could show somebody's possession. And this is not a possessive word. Another example. When is. It's similar to the first example that I've showed you. I've kept the I, but I've added the apostrophe. Remember, the I is to be deleted. Wins. Last one. Is this correct? Yes. That's. I've added the apostrophe, I've deleted the I, and I've kept the S. That's. Remember, contraction means that you're simply just shortening a word. You're decreasing it in size. Is only one form of contractions. You have not, and there are other forms, but today this was just simply focused on the contraction is. Sometimes you have to be careful where you put the apostrophe, and remember to always delete the I. Thank you.